everyone! It's been a long time since I have made any sort of video, and today I am going to jump back into the video making scene by doing a tag video, a book tag video, and it's one that I saw on Marlin's channel. She is a European booktuber, and I can never remember if she's from Switzerland, I think. So she knows several languages, and she's got this really decadent accent, and she reads a lot of really interesting books. And so I don't know if she made this tag or if she found it or what, but check out her video below, and here are my responses. The first question is, tell us about what you loved to read as a child. I was given the Saddle Club books by my mom, by the author Bonnie Bryant, and she actually wrote like tons of books in this series before it started to be ghostwritten. They were about three friends, three girls at a riding stable, and the emphasis in all of the books and throughout the whole series was on friendship, and it was on like proper equestrian care, like caring about horses rather than caring about, you know, winning all the ribbons at the shows, and caring about learning, caring about education. There was some kind of like teen or preteen, I guess, drama in terms of like family dynamics and so on, but the three characters were quite diverse, and it was just a really awesome series. And I don't know if anyone that's watching this would be, or either themselves or would know someone that would be interested in finding that, but I personally like to read juvenile fiction now as an adult, especially as a librarian, because I just love seeing what is available to children, and it's definitely a series that I would recommend. And then there was this awesome boarding school book, and I've literally for years been trying to search what this book is, because I don't remember the title, I don't remember the author, I don't remember the main character, but I remember one character's name was Kathleen. She was like the frenemy, the enemy, the nemesis, the antagonist. And it was set in World War II when a lot of school-aged children were evacuated from London. And if anyone knows what the story is, I've actually just made a post on Goodreads. There's a forum there if you're trying to find the title of a book. So I have posted it there, and I'll leave the link below so you can take a look. But that was an amazing story too, because it was all about friendship, and I read a lot about female friendship when I was a young girl, and I didn't ever really have the kind of female friendship that I craved and that I wanted to have. And I think my idea of female friendship was born out of those books. And so in my adult life, I now have very close female friends, and I think I still kind of model the friendships that I have off of like how those girls in those books treated each other and appreciated each other and supported each other. So I think reading those books has really shaped me as a friend, if nothing else. First adult fiction you tried to read. So that would probably be The Great Gatsby in 10th grade. I think I was still reading more like young adult, not that that term was really a thing when I was a teen, but more juvenile material until I hit grade 10 and we read The Great Gatsby, which I've always really enjoyed. What was the classic book that you read not because of school? So I don't know if George Orwell is considered a classic. I think it's part of like a canon, like the Western canon, but I don't think it's like a classic. I think a classic has to be kind of older. So in that case it would be Pride and Prejudice, which I tried to read as a book, like a hard copy book, and then I wasn't really getting into it, so I actually read it as an audiobook, and the woman did a British accent and it was really fun, so I definitely recommend that. Number 4, tell us about a book that made you realize a new favorite genre or writing style. So I've always kind of loved literary fiction, and I don't quite know where that came from. This tag is kind of interesting because it makes you really think about what books could have possibly influenced your tastes as a young person. And I think the first think the first kind of introduction to that literary fiction style would have been Jeanette Winterson, and Wait is one of the examples, but also Sexing the Cherry. Number 5, what was the first literary prize winner that you read? I think that would have to be The Sisters Brothers by Patrick DeWitt. It won the Governor General's Literary Award, and it came out, I think, in like 2011, and I read it a few years later, 2013? Yeah. And it's actually being optioned by John C. Reilly. The actor has a production company, and I have a feeling he's going to be playing Eli, so that will be a pretty cool film. Number 6, what was the first piece of translated fiction that you read? That, I'm pretty sure, was The Wind-Up Bird Chronicle, which was originally written in Japanese by Haruki Murakami, and it was translated into English by Jay Rubin, who is somebody who has translated a lot of Murakami's work. Okay, number 7, tell us about why you started Booktube and what it was like to film your first video. I wanted to join Booktube, and I've talked about this a little bit before, but I couldn't tell you which video this information would be in. I wanted to start a YouTube channel for a long time, but I didn't know where I would kind of find a community to share content with, because when I first started watching YouTube, it was very much you would comment on other people's stuff and they would see what you were doing, and it was almost like a big virtual message board with a lot more components to it. Now it doesn't really feel like that, but I would definitely encourage people that aren't currently on Booktube or YouTube at all to find a spot for yourself. I definitely look at Booktube as a place where I'm still constantly finding new people or new to me people, and they all have various different tastes and are quite influential to me in terms of what books I look for and what authors I'm introduced to. And as someone who works in a library, that's very beneficial, but as someone who identifies as a reader, that's equally beneficial. My very first Booktube video was a book review of 1984 by George Orwell, which is still to date my most viewed video. I'm still quite pleased with it because I feel like I talked very softly because I was still new to recording myself, but I still kind of like what I did with that video. It was just me talking much like this to a camera, but I felt very like I worked really hard to create the review, and I made lots of notes and I did lots of takes, and I didn't have a dog playing with a friggin' bone, Evie! That book is very significant in my life because it was the first book that I read with someone. I read it with my then fiance. It was my, I think, 3rd video overall. I guess the first Booktube video was like a haul video. But those are all still up and available, and film them on this camera, and yeah, it was just, Booktube is such a fun thing. If getting into YouTube or Booktube specifically is something that you are interested in, I would highly recommend doing it, and if you have any questions or anything, please feel free to ask. I'll try and answer as best as I can. Okay, I don't know if anyone has done this yet. I will tag Jason at the Heavy Blanks. I will tag Sushila at AHOY Sush. And I will tag Ariel at Ariel Bissett, tag Ali, Ali Oman. I don't know if you have a different tag. And I'll tag Alicia at Ex Libris. So from myself and Evie's bone gnawing noise, I will say goodbye, and thanks for watching. Bye.